right, so we'll move on to the next subject that I think is also very important is mental health and physical health. You know, do you guys think that the schools do a good job of teaching us or our children how to really understand and take care of your mental health and physical health? Who wants to tackle that issue?
I don't think the schools do a good job at all.
Go ahead, tell us what you think.
And I might sound bitter, but for the amount of money that we pay in my district, it comes out to $8,000 a student, even for a first grader. And I was paying when my son was in college 9,000, and that was college. So I think they can do a much better job, and they never. I mean, you were talking about values and morals. They don't teach. They don't teach that, and maybe they shouldn't. But the problem with schools and school unions is they're not based on a profit. Any private company can do a much better job and be $100 million company in my district, and that would save the taxpayers over 67% overall. On the property taxes. But they don't, because the whole thing, it comes down to the smallest detail of not making a profit. There's no incentive. The teachers do their time, the administrators do their time, and they collect a bunch of money and they can charge whatever they want. And if you vote them down, they just put it back through until they get their way. And it's just government unions for me is a really hard spot. And it's such a corrupt system. And if they have to throw the system out. They can't even fix the system. So I think if they privatize it or gave you school choice where parents could see, obviously the best school would have the most students, right? And then it would create a little bit of competition, and then they'd really start to focus on everything we're talking about right now, because they want to prepare these children better for life. And that would be a good thing.
So we have Alexandra from France. So Alexandra, can you share with us how are things in the French school system? Do you agree with Tom? Obviously, he's talking about the American school system. We also have people from Armenia. Maybe somebody can enlighten us about the school system in Armenia.
My idea is, in fact, I worked in several countries in Europe, which in Germany, France, and Belgium, Netherlands, Italy. And I know all these systems, and they're all quite similar. I think they're quite similar to the American ones too. What is the problem in the school system I noticed with children and youngsters is really, they all have to fit into a matrix. They have to fit and respond to a certain expectation. It needs to be this, needs to be that. You need to learn these theories. You need to do this. That's the way you should do it. Appearance, competition, of course. And very often they don't go really to the real hardcore elements of life. So human values, as we said, empathy, development. We don't go really into listening to your inner voice, your intuition. That's a really important point, because we're all in Europe, in the States, I think all over the world, most of the countries in their system, they're very much on the mind. Everything goes through the mind. You have to do this, you have to do that. This society thinks we can solve problems with the mind and with theories. And I believe that's a real mistake. And that's a mistake which the school system has repeated all over again. We cannot solve them with the mind. We can solve them with our inner voice, intuition, which knows so much more. Our body wisdom knows so much more than our mind. You will be really amazed what you can find in there once you would start to exercise. And this is something, this will be so important also in order to create a better world. Because when every person follows more his inner voice, what he feels is right, he feels is right for him, and he also becomes creative, because that's also a part, it is freedom of being creative, then we could really, when you get that space, you get a much better school system and a much better youngsters being much better prepared, I think, for the future and for creating such a society. As you know, Anna, you know that in my practice, I work a lot with nature and with animals. Why? because nature and animals they don't communicate over the mind, they communicate with energy, with in a way they create on the level of really intuition, on the level of body wisdom. And animals have this, they're connected to a bigger knowing field. I know I explain, in fact, in general, it's a knowing field, it's quantum energy. Every information is stocked in that set, let's say that field, and animals know about it. They know so much more than we think. So that's the way I also work to get people into their intuition, into their body wisdom, and go into this, let's say, find answers there, answers for life, answers in problems, in relationships. And once you connect to this, you get a sort of flow in your life. And that's so beautiful because just things fall into place. The right people come onto your path, right situations arrive. You become let's say, you get a sixth sense for things.